One of the most important aspects of your life or disability insurance policy is the health rating that the insurance company gives you. Anytime you apply for life or disability insurance, one of the things that the insurance company does in order to determine the amount of risk you are to the company is they give you a health exam. The exam usually includes a blood draw, a urinalysis, and sometimes a questionnaire about your medical history. Behind the scenes, the insurance company may do a few other things, like pull your driving records or pull your past medical history. But the one thing that you can influence in order to get the lowest insurance premium is to get the best medical exam results. How do you do this, you ask? Well, sit back and take a couple notes. In this video, I'll be showing you everything about how the insurance company evaluates you as a risk to the insurance company, and how these risks impact your future insurance premiums. I'll also show you what you can do to get the best results on your health exam in order to ensure that you have the best and lowest out-of-pocket premiums on your new policy. When you decide to buy a life or a disability insurance policy to protect your family, you have to take a step back and look at yourself and the process the same way the insurance company is going to see things. The insurance company sees this as them entering into a promise with you and your family. A promise to pay your family if you were to pass away prematurely. They see you as a person who's going to be making regular premium payments to the company in exchange for a promise to pay your family a large lump sum of money if, God forbid, you pass away unexpectedly. Theoretically, you could make 1 or 2 premium payments to the insurance company, and if, God forbid, anything were to happen to you, the insurance company could be out of pocket for $1 million or more. So you better believe that the insurance company is going to do their due diligence in order to ensure that they're not going to be taking on a new client that may unwittingly become a liability very soon thereafter. It's important to understand the circumstances that will leave the insurance company on the hook to pay out their side of the promise, and what the insurance company will see as a greater risk to them being put on the hook to pay out this promise. Just like if you were to go buy auto insurance, the insurance company is going to look at your driving history in order to evaluate how much they're going to charge you for future insurance premiums or what kind of risk you are. Same thing goes when you buy life or disability insurance. The insurance company will charge you more for the coverage if you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high blood sugar, and so on and so forth. Evaluation of your past and present medical history will lead them to make a statistical assumption about your life expectancy. And your job is to make sure that the results of these procedures are in your favor, and that you do not leave the insurance company with any reason to believe that your health is any less favorable than it really is. Typically, the first step in purchasing any insurance policy will be the application. During the application process, you're going to be asked a series of yes or no questions regarding your health, your driving record, your family's health history, and regarding your travel to any foreign countries in the past or upcoming year. It's important to answer these questions honestly, but you have to remember, these are yes or no questions, so elaboration on the answer to these questions will do nothing but open a can of worms, and it'll also cause you to have to answer additional follow-up questions. This is so critical to remember throughout the entire process. Anytime you're being asked questions about your past, you need to remember to only answer the question being asked with a yes or a no answer. I've seen clients make statements, even in sort of a joking manner, which led to additional questions being asked and unnecessary information being given to the underwriter to use for their evaluation process. I tell my clients, treat this like an IRS audit. Take your time to evaluate the question that's being asked of you. Don't hesitate to ask them to repeat the question, but craft your answer in the most direct manner. Pretty much any question can be answered in a yes or a no fashion. And no question during this process should lead to any open-ended, elaborate answers. So don't forget this. Like I said, it's important to remember this during the entire process of buying insurance. The next step that you're going to come across will be a telephone conversation between you and the insurance company about pretty much the same information that was collected on your application. The insurance companies call this a paramed or a paramedical examination. And this is done primarily to make sure that the information the agent took on the application is consistent with the information that you provide on a one-on-one phone conversation. The paramed is primarily for your protection. There have been instances where the agent will lie on the application for one reason or another, and the insurance company will use the paramedical exam as a backstop in order to keep the agent in check. But don't forget to keep your answers brief when you're asked questions during the paramedical exam. The underwriter will still use any and all comments that you make during the paramed, so treat each question like an IRS audit, providing only yes or no direct answers. The next step that you'll encounter is the medical exam. Now, anybody that tells you that you can get life insurance without having to take a medical exam is probably leaving out the fact that anytime you have a policy issued without completing a medical exam, more likely you're going to be paying much more in premiums for that policy versus a policy for that which you have to complete a medical exam. Think of it like a life insurance company. If they don't have the statistics regarding your current health circumstances, they are at a much greater risk of experiencing a loss early on. If there's greater risk, then the insurance company is going to charge you more for your policy. So companies like Ethos that advertise, quote, no medical exams, may not necessarily be doing you any favors by skipping this step in the process, especially when this is a step of the process where you have the most influence over the results. Here are some of the things to remember in preparation for your medical exam. And also, here are a few things to do that will make sure that your labs come out with the best possible results. First, schedule your medical exam to be completed as early in the day as possible. The perfect scenario would be for you to roll out of bed and have the examiner there to take your blood and urine sample. This would be the best time of the day for your blood pressure results, and the time of the day when you're at the least stressed level. So try to schedule the examiner to come as early in the day as possible. Next, you want to fast for at least 8 hours before your exam, preferably 10 hours. This will ensure that you have no unnecessary sugars, sodiums, or cholesterols in your blood. Next, drink as much water as possible and eliminate caffeinated beverage. Also, try to stay away from food with a high fat, sodium, or sugar content for at least 24 to 48 hours prior to your exam. Drinking water will flush all the toxins from your body, which will help restore the levels back to the way they're supposed to be. Next, 24 hours prior to your exam, try to stay away from all strenuous activities. And yes, this does include running or going to the gym. Running and exercise is really good for you, but it'll also elevate your creatine and glucose levels, not to mention elevate your blood pressure. So try not to do these things 24 hours before your exam. Definitely don't do these things the day of your exam. Next, stay away from drinking alcohol for 2 to 3 days prior to your exam. Drinking alcohol elevates your liver enzymes, and these elevated levels can be detected in your blood sample. You definitely don't want elevated liver enzymes. Next, nicotine and tobacco carcinogens usually stain your blood for between 1 to 4 weeks. So if you have stayed away from these products for 1 to 4 weeks, they will not be in your bloodstream. Let me repeat that. If you've stayed away from any sort of nicotine or tobacco carcinogens for 1 to 4 weeks, they will no longer be in your bloodstream when your blood is taken for your exam. If you've already admitted to being a nicotine user, or if your primary doctor has noted in your medical records that you're a nicotine user, try to stay away from smoking or nicotine or any sort of tobacco for at least an hour prior to the exam. Next, stay away from taking vitamins and supplements, except for that which you prescribed by your primary doctor, for at least 24 hours prior to your exam. Taking supplements and unnatural amounts of vitamins into your system will throw your levels out of whack and make them appear to be abnormal to the underwriter. And you don't want abnormalities to appear. You want to be as plain and as quiet to the underwriter as humanly possible. Lastly, if you have high cholesterol, increase your vegetable intake, decrease your meat intake, including shellfish and seafood, and start eating more oatmeal at least 1 week prior to your medical exam. This will result in lower cholesterol levels. Like I said before, when you're purchasing insurance, there's one step in the process that you actually have a greater amount of control over the outcome, and that's the medical exam. So make sure you take these steps serious and take these tips into consideration, because they will definitely optimize your health rating when you receive the final decision from any underwriter for the insurance policy for which you're applying. Here are a couple other things to be aware of when you're going through this insurance process. First, the medical exams are paid for by the insurance companies, and the results can be obtained by you directly from the examination company, which the insurance company and the exam company are two completely different entities. But after the labs have been processed and delivered to the underwriter at the insurance company, you can request a copy of your results directly from the labs. Next, if you have any scheduled appointments with a physician prior to your life insurance process being completed, I want to encourage you to complete the insurance application process first. If you go to a primary doctor for, let's say, a checkup or a physical, they usually have a tendency to make some remarks in your file that may not be so advantageous to your life insurance application. The insurance company is going to see you as a greater amount of risk, and this could increase your premiums than if you were just to get your insurance in place first and then see your doctor later. So, if it's not life-threatening, reschedule your appointment with your doctor until after you've completed the insurance process. You're going to be better off, trust me. Thank you so much for stopping by our channel and checking out this video. I hope it was helpful in giving you some ways to make sure that you get the best rating on your insurance application. Don't go into this process blind. And for that matter, don't go into any aspect of your financial planning blind or uninformed. There are so many ways that you can arm yourself with the necessary information in order to optimize any financial plan. I mean, especially with an insurance company. Insurance companies have such a bad rap of giving the public such a hard time. It's important that we have at least a leg up on them in this aspect and making sure that you get the lowest premiums and that you're not getting cheated out of something that may not be relevant to your current circumstances. So stick with me, and I'll give you the information that few people know and almost nobody in the industry talks about. This is Dean with Defending Your Finances. God bless you and your families.